What a telomere is, it's a piece of like an end cap on a shoestring. Some pretty gold shoestring.
Beautiful shoestring, by the way.
But it's like the end cap that holds this and keeps this from fraying. And so what happens is our DNA with time, we only have so many cell divisions. We make a cell division, we make a new cell. We only have so many cell divisions before this just gets shorter and shorter and shorter. So that's what the aging process is. Hi, welcome back to Sweet to the Naked Doctor. I'm Dr. Tammy.
And I'm Chrissy.
We have a great show today.
Absolutely, like we always do.
Always do. And it's my birthday.
It is your birthday. Haha, happy birthday,
Thank
Dr.
you
Tammy.
Very much, very much. I thought it would be appropriate today to do a show on anti-aging.
I think that's great.
And I think it's fascinating because the technology that we have, there is actually the premise that there is a birthday reversal.
Yes. I have heard that too, and that's very exciting. Very exciting to hear.
I'm excited that I'm 29 and going back to 28 next year.
Yay, yes. And we happen to be the same age, so me too.
Love it.
We're riding that together.
And I'm not afraid to say that I'm 54 today. And I feel so good, and I feel like I'm 12. Emotionally, I'm probably like a little kid too, but I feel I don't hurt anywhere. I feel good. I feel like, I don't feel 54, whatever we define 54
Whatever we used to
as.
define 54 as, it's very different now. I'm in the same place, exactly. I'm just a few months behind you, and I am able to get up and down off the floor with my grandson. I can climb the stairs comfortably. Those little things that as you get older and you notice people around you that are having trouble, you begin to appreciate your mobility more and more.
So today's show is going to be about defining what is aging and what you can do about it, because we think, I have patients come in all the time and say, I'm just getting older, and it just hurts my heart because I'm like, no, you don't have to. And these are people younger than me who have these complaints of pain and aching.
But it's an expectation almost that if they have seen that in their family, and this is where the energy part of this comes in, because of course there's a physical component, but just like we talked with the placebo, if you are expecting that as the clock turns that you're just going to have aches and pains, that you should expect that, and so you consigned to live with it, that's a mistake. That is the incorrect mindset to have when it comes to aging.
And the world out there, the pharmaceutical world, everybody wants you to think that, that aches and pains are okay, so you'll just take a pill for it.
Right.
And that's just not cool. I love this card you got me. Thank you so much. And it's just like the antithesis of who I want to be. Now, I don't want to have the wrinkles, but it's just, hello, darling.
The crazy, eccentric lady with the tiny stuffed animal. We're
going to actually explain this here in a little bit.
Okay, but that's our little monkey mascot that we love.
But I love it because you and I were talking, and so I was reading this, and it says on your birthday, I propose that we make a pact to let each other know if one of us ever becomes an eccentric. I don't say the B word, but it's fun. And I said, before I even read where you signed on here, I said, it's too late, I'm there. And then
that's what I signed, too late, I'm there.
Really there. So yeah, I just think that's so fun.
Another confirmation that we think alike often.
I love it. And I just, the sophistication of aging, and I really wouldn't trade it where I am right now for anything, because I'm being molded into this, age doesn't matter, but the experience.
Right. And I feel like we're getting into it feels like a fuzzy gray area, because everyone loves to talk about youth, and everything is geared towards looking more youthful. And it's the young crowd that has the money, and it's the young crowd that's on the end, however you want to think that. So we're kind of blazing a trail when it comes to, okay, well, we were that crowd, and now we're moving into the next stage of being that crowd. How do we want to represent ourselves going into, because we're going to be healthier, we're going to be more mobile, we're naturally going to look better. How do we want to present this so it's not such a gray area for the next generation that comes into this age group? Doesn't have to be.
I like that 50 is the new 20.
Yeah, of course. Let's keep pushing that new 20 as far as we can push it.
As far as we can. And when you're healthy, everything from the inside out works. So we're going to talk about the aging process. We're going to talk about what this little monkey means. And we're going to show you a little video that I put together for how the aging process works and what it actually is, so we can start strategizing about what you can do about it. So we'll be right back with the Naked Doctor. Hi, welcome back to the Naked Doctor. I'm Dr. Tammy.
And this is Chrissy.
And this is a fun show today. It's the birthday show, the anti-birthday show.
Anti-birthday, anti-aging show.
Anti-aging show. I think that has such a, I don't know, overused word, anti-aging.
Oh, it's on every cream, on every shelf,
It's actually part of my corporate name because I really do believe in it, and I really do believe that there are so many things that you can do about aging. And got a little video here we're going to show you. And the thing that I think if you can keep in mind is that there's a little blip in there that talks about something called telomeres. What a telomere is, it's a piece of like an end cap on a shoestring. This is a pretty gold shoestring.
Beautiful shoestring, by the way.
But it's like the end cap that holds this and keeps this from fraying. And so what happens is our DNA with time, we only have so many cell divisions. We make a cell division, we make a new cell. We only have so many cell divisions before this just gets shorter and shorter and shorter. So that's what the aging process is, down to the DNA. And then everything that we do supports the cellular division. And there's actually, this is nuts, they actually have research going on in mice where they have targeted the DNA, they can put a new message in there, and they have healed blindness and all sorts of age-related disease.
Wow.
Because aging well is really about avoiding disease. And even the skin, avoiding skin cancer and skin wrinkles, that's all an aging part of the disease. If you don't have disease, you don't age.
So it's much, even though we've been saying preventative for so long, that preventative science is getting more and more prevalent.
Yeah.
So
they
this is
say
fantastic.
within the next 10 years, using that on humans, we could literally heal all sorts of diseases and sort of rewrite our DNA, which would be interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. And one of the biggest things that happens, and the reason we have our little monkey here, you're probably familiar with the monkey on our shows, the little monster face, is we have something called free radicals. And free radicals are molecules in the cells down to the DNA that actually rob the cells of oxygen. And so that's what triggers the disease process and the aging process in there. That's why we take antioxidants like vitamin C and resveratrol and things like that, because it actually lets the free radicals not have the power that they have to suck our oxygen up. So a little video here, we're going to show this just a minute, and you can kind of see the process of what's happening down in the DNA, a little visual for you. fascinating.
great.
I know,
That was
right?
great.
I mean, just mind-blowing what's happening down
Yeah.
there, or we can't even see it.
No.
It's
And
happening.
everything has its job, and we're learning more what those jobs are and what we can do to support all that work that's going on that we don't even know. We just know how we feel and how we want to feel. This is great.
It is. So the number one thing that you can do for anti-aging is not anything anyone wants to hear. I don't know why, maybe you can tell me this, why we have so much resistance to this word, is exercise.
Oh, goodness, yes.
The number one thing. So if you're not committed to some sort of form of easy movement, I like to say that better, kind of like intermittent fasting, I like to say.
Well,
Intermittent
immediately you want to
feeding.
ease someone into it, because to tell them that the real key is exercise almost feels like you're letting them down, because we are programmed to want a pill or just something that we can listen to. I don't know. But it is, I can tell you from personal experience, and I will brag about this all day, having lost over 160 pounds, is that exercise has to become part of your daily activity. Stretching in the morning, some activity that you plan during the day, things you love to do. And we've seen so much science, not just about anti-aging, but that your muscles release the feel-good hormones, that not only are you doing good things for your body, but you're feeling good on top of that. So
Okay, the stress
I would
hormones.
like to change that idea that telling someone that exercise is what's really going to do it for them is somehow a letdown, and that we have to, yes, of course, if you've gone from completely sedentary to active, you've got to ease into it. But goodness, this is a fountain of youth, so it really shouldn't
It
be
really
looked
is.
at
It's
like,
free.
yeah.
I
And if
mean,
you
unless
don't
your
use
gym
it, you
membership-
lose it. How many times have we been saying that?
You do.
If you don't
Even
use
your
it, you lose
brain.
it. Even your brain. Your body's got to move. That's why we're here, to move through space.
And I
Use
think
it.
we have this feeling that it has to be hard. When we think
Right.
exercise, we think those people in the gym with the ropes and throwing the tires and
Yeah,
stuff.
it doesn't have to be all that.
No, it doesn't. So when we come back, they're saying it's time for a little break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some easy things that you can do for exercise, why it's so important. And then there's so many things we could talk about, but we'll try to keep it simple and just keep it to a few things. But there's so much power in just a few things that you can do to help prevent disease, which is really what anti-aging is. So we'll be right back. Welcome back. We're having a great show today. We
yes.
are talking all things anti-aging, and really not anti-aging, but how do you reverse the clock? What can you do with that? So what I'm about to say is probably going to be very counterintuitive to what you might have heard, but stress is actually the key to anti-aging.
Correct. But it's a different kind of stress, right?
Different kind of stress. So anything toxic that stresses our body, no, that's not good. We did a show on artificial sweeteners. We've done shows on all sorts of poisons that we can put in our body, alcohol, smoking, all those kinds of things. But what we talk about stress is when you can stress the body, because challenges change. And anytime you change, you're telling the cells that we need more growth. When you start sitting around and you're sedentary, you start that process of literally dying. It's called apoptosis. You just can't make those
Your
cells
body
anymore.
does not want to support something that you are no longer actively using. And that's proven.
It's proven.
Because why would you? If you have a limited amount of resources, which your body usually feels like, we've only got so much coming in, we've got to do the best with what we've got, and you are no longer using most of your muscles or your joints and your cartilage, then that's not going to be supported anymore.
We call it deconditioning. Research really backs that up. So we talked about exercise before we went to the break, and you know, it's like you can start with baby steps. It doesn't have to be going to join a gym and a membership. It can start with walking to the mailbox. And one of the most effective exercises that they have shown is something called interval training. And it stresses the body because it's a high burst energy. It uses oxygen, and oxygen is the name of the game for free radicals.
And it goes back and forth between strength and aerobic, so you have a little bit of everything back and forth, and it tricks your body a bit, so it doesn't have that time to get into that rest mode before you pop into something different.
So I recommend you look up interval training. There's a ton of it. It's small bursts. Literally, my interval training takes less than 15 minutes a week. I spend more time on my hair and drying it and everything.
I want one quick little asterisk there, because I did start out at a very heavy weight with knees that were not that strong when I began, and I also had a basic marching in place video, and there is nothing to be ashamed of. If that is where your fitness level is, and you can march in place to great music for 30 minutes, then that's where you start. You start exactly where you are comfortable starting, and then give yourself that gold star.
You can just turn on the radio in your bedroom and just dance a couple songs. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but they have shown so many studies to show things like VO2 max in the lungs, which is just the capacity that you can move your lungs, is so important. And as far as your metabolism goes, and just, weight and everything, you have to get moving. So people say, oh, I'm active all day long. Well, you're not active to the point where you're stressing the body.
Have you gotten sweaty at some point today deliberately?
Yeah, which is also another stressor. Saunas are really good because it's stressing the body a little bit. I call it intermittent eating, not intermittent fasting. 1 meal a day. They always tell us to eat breakfast. That's just crap. 1 meal a day is enough to stress the body. In fact, fasting has been shown in mice to extend their life up to, I don't know how long a mouse lives, but up to
because that's the first thing your body goes to when it doesn't have the external fuel, is anything that needs to be cleaned up. So that not eating process is just as important as eating, and we have to remember that food pyramid and that encouragement of 3 meals a day plus snacks was really just to sell you more food.
Yes, and really
it was
more
not
drugs
scientifically backed that we have to. If you think about the way that people, probably when we were hunter-gatherers, it was all day of working and then coming together at night around a fire and sharing the food that was gathered during the day. So it was less about eating all day. I guess if you were picking berries and you ate half of them, you'd probably be in trouble.
And that was stress because we were chasing prey or being chased by prey. So that's where those intermittent bursts, that high interval training. And when I say that, you can start out really low impact, but you want to stress the body a little bit. One of the biggest things too that I've always preached, because I'm a hormone girl, of course, is anything that you see in the nursing home is hormone imbalance, because everything from wrinkles of the skin, you don't have estrogen for collagen structure and stability. Incontinence, you don't have collagen influence and structure from the estrogen to keep that together.
Just to support everything that needs support.
Testosterone, all the things that make us feel more youthful can really tighten those telomeres. And so there's so many other things that you can do to, slightly stress the body, like some of the things we do in our office are hyperbaric oxygen, gets that oxygen in, red light therapy. There are red light
That's one
saunas
I've
and
heard
things
a
like
lot
that.
about lately.
I have a lot of research to back that up. And then there's a lot of supplements. We don't even have time to go through all the supplements today.
And we're also talking about not just living longer. When you said nursing home, that's what a lot of people think of when they're living longer, but quality of life living longer. This is not just, well, I'm going to be barely alive for a much longer time. No, this is living life fully with full mobility and feeling like you want to live. That's really important.
I have this dream that someday so many people are going to say they watched this show, and that was the day that changed my life. I heard that one thing. And I hope that one thing is that you make a plan. Go on YouTube University. Make a plan,
so
a
much
walking
information
video,
there.
anything. Just start moving. And it has to be above and beyond. It has to stress the body a little bit more. Even if you are very active or you work a job in a warehouse, you have to do that dedicated oxygen stress to actually do the anti-aging process.
And stretch more often. Watch your pets. Every time your dog or cat gets up, they stretch. It is that important that nature works it into the animals. Stretch yourself from time to time. And stretching is just like that stress. You're taking yourself just a little bit farther than you did before. Stretch your mind as well.
Have you ever seen people who are trying to find a parking space close at the gym?
They circle and circle and circle.
I mean, it's just kind of the mentality of, we've just become so sedentary. And there's so much convenience. Now, we don't even have to get up to turn the channel on the TV. We have a remote. And, that we've kind of in this situation where a lot of people are home, working from home, and how much more sedentary we are. So make a plan to get active. Just want to talk about a few other things that are just fascinating. I've been researching peptides a lot. One of the first peptides was actually insulin, so we're all familiar with that. There are anti-aging peptides as well. And the funniest peptide for anti-aging to me, not funny, but as we kind of think about, I didn't know that was a peptide, is Botox.
Botox is a peptide. Okay.
So a lot of the buzz about the weight loss, and we do that in our office too, but the semaglutide or the weight loss shots like Wegovy and Ozempic and things like that, they are peptides. They do work on insulin receptors for weight loss. But yeah, Botox is actually a peptide, an injectable peptide.
I'm learning more and more about peptides.
Peptides, we love peptides. And just a few pieces of lab work that you might ask your doctor for would be homocysteine levels, inflammatory markers like SED rates or CRP, genetic testing. You can see all sorts of stressors in the DNA, and a hemoglobin A1C is one of those doctors that your doctor can, one of those tests your doctor can do very easily to test for sugar. Because sugar is very corrosive to everything in the body. It causes a process called glycation that breaks your skin collagen down.
Well, it's literally, if you look at sugar microscopically, it's little crystals with sharp edges.
I know, right?
And if your blood sugar's high, it's nicking everything that's tiny.
Everything. It's like a burr.
I can imagine that. It is.
Yeah. I love that analogy. I never thought about it like that.
It's like teeny tiny razor blades going through your system. That's not good.
And heart disease and stroke. And they say that Alzheimer's is actually a type 3 diabetes.
Ooh.
It's a sugar utilization in the brain. So,
oh my goodness.
And we say low carb, right? Broccoli is a carbohydrate.
Right. Don't get your carbs confused.
Don't get your carbs confused.
Correct.
But a Snickers bar is a different level of carbohydrates, right?
An artificially inflated level of sugar that does not need to be there.
Not. So they're saying it's time for a break. We're going to take a little break, and we'll be back, and we'll kind of finish our conversation and wrap it all up in a nice, pretty bow, a birthday bow.
A birthday bow.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. We are talking about anti-aging, and we just talked on break. I love that. Just say what you just said.
Just planning your aging. We talk about planning our goals, and we have vision boards for that, and we have plans, but let's talk about how do you want to do this next stage of your life. If you are living longer, you're going to have to get some more hobbies. You're not going to be laying in that recliner all the time like you thought you were going to be. Let's actively plan this next stage of our lives and how we want that aging to go. I want to be that beautiful older model. I want to be someone that you see in the park doing Tai Chi. Who's that crazy old lady? Yeah, that's me. That's going to be me. And I have a lot of goals that maybe before I would have put aside because I thought I was too old. That's really not the case anymore. That is just an idea.
It is.
You have YouTube. You can learn how to do anything. And being outside, goodness, such a blessing being outside. Let's all take take advantage of that more often. Vitamin D on your skin with sunshine.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That's another thing too. You know, we really didn't have time to get into it, but supplements. You know, my son teases me because I take so many supplements. It's nuts. Just a handful, and he'll be like, "Why do you take so much?" Now I've got him taking stuff too, but
Because
why
I
do you
feel
take so
better.
much? And I'm like, well, it's either a handful of pharmaceuticals, or it's going to be a handful of this, and my body needs this. So I take vitamin D, methylfolate, resveratrol. I mean, there's so many things that have, basically, the name of the game is inflammation. Inflammation is weight gain. Inflammation causes disease. 90% of every disease process in our body is related to inflammation, if not all of it. So the name of the game is inflammation, and you have to get those fish oils and those things to lubricate those joints. So, I mean,
And then keep them moving. They're lubricated, now you keep them moving.
do good research, you know, make sure you're taking good quality stuff as well, because that's super important. You don't want to get just junk
And pay
supplements.
attention to how you feel.
Pay
If you're
attention.
taking a supplement, you feel no change or a negative change, then you make a change to that supplement.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some things you sort of do preventative, like vitamin D and stuff, but really, like things like fish oil, your joints should feel better. You should be able to do, you know, MSM and anti-inflammatories and feel better, and maybe eliminate some foods in your diet, like gluten and dairy and things like that, which are, you know, prone to be inflammatory foods.
Being more connected, paying more attention, which we're going to be as we're getting older now, and being the healthy, active, beautiful,
Eccentric,
I know,
biatch
eccentric.
that we want to
we're going to
be.
be in the park doing our crazy things, but that's going to keep us young, chasing our grandkids. It's going to be awesome.
I love it. We have all sorts of social media presence, and please email us. We have an email contact on thenakeddoctorshow.com, and share your stories. Say, you know, maybe something that you heard from us made you motivated to do something, or maybe helped you on a path to make a change.
And I'm going to be putting together a Feeling Youthful as I Age guided meditation, so you can find that on YouTube.
Oh, perfect. Yes, and
Yes.
we'll have it in the show notes. We'll link that. I
Excellent.
love that. You're so good at the meditations. Long story about
we
how
can make it
did.
easy. Meditation doesn't have to be hard either.
Yes. And if you want to find Chrissy's stuff, Christina, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Chrissy,
forget. You're just my
Christina,
Chrissy
we'll have the
name.
bio down below, and you can click on the links.
Low Key Magical. She does amazing videos like every day. She's got her own podcast and talks about spirituality and healing and so many things. So if you need a little bit of help with that,
Or a little
as you're
energy boost to your
little
day.
energy boost to your
Absolutely.
day. And they're just fun to watch. I love watching you. So check her out too. We'll have that in the show notes too as well. We love you very much. Thank you for being here this week. We know you could have been anywhere this last 30 minutes, and we're so grateful that you chose to be with us.
And happy birthday.
And happy birthday to me.
Yes.
Happy anti-reverse birthday.
Right.
All right. Love you very much. See you next week. Mwah.